Blessed be all my soul family and allies out there. In this video, we are going to be continuing our exploration and disambiguation and vocabulary work when it comes to spiritual maladies, maledictions, and negative spiritual conditions. And in this video, we are going to be talking about the Jinx family. And so when we talk about the Jinx family, because Jinx is one of those words that's often used interchangeably, even though it's technically inaccurate, with curses, hexes, and cross conditions, it's a completely different situation. And so we need to look at it like a different situation. And when we're talking about the Jinx family includes mental dominations, control magics, some bindings, and yes, even some love spells. Now, the reason I am making this video, just like I did with the curses, hexes, cross conditions video and the negative energy in general video, is because I want to make sure that when people are looking for correspondences for different circumstances, that they understand that not everything is the same, and sometimes there can be some misunderstandings that mean the spell or the work is not going to work because you're bringing the wrong tool for the wrong job. Now, tools, correspondences, herbs, oils, and spells that are geared specifically towards breaking hexes, curses, cross conditions, or cleansing and clearing general negativity are very much focused on eliminating and even reversing the effects of the negative energy force as it is a force in the universe. Remember, in that video, we did talk about how negative energy itself is not a mood or a feeling or an emotion. It is a force in the universe that is a natural part of creation. You know, it exists everywhere. It's just that when things are healthy, it exists in balance. And when things are working against us, things are not vibrant, things are in a downward state, that's when it's out of balance. Those are when you're dealing with, again, the cross conditions, negative energy accumulations, hexes, and curses. Well, Jinxes, mind controls, and mental dominations, bindings, and even some love spells do not work with that energy at all. So anything geared towards cleansing that energy is not going to find that energy to cleanse and clear. And so what are we working with? How do we know the difference? And how do they operate? How do they function differently? And how does that change what we're using to confront them? But first, I also want to make an announcement since we're on the topic to a certain degree. After 10, 11 years now of being on YouTube, going all the way back to the Scarlet Moon days, of people asking me to put spell services up so people could actually hire me to cast spells for them, I've decided to actually do that. And for those of you who have come here looking for spells or looking for ways of confronting these issues, whether it's a jinx or a mental domination or whatever, or a hex or a curse or whatever, I do have a lot of free content on this channel as well for people who are on the spiritual path who want to confront the situation themselves. So you should check those out first. Because there are plenty of things that you can do that are very effective. I share my own practices and some of the things that I do and some of the techniques I employ already on this channel, so look those over. But if you do want to hire me to confront a spiritual situation, a malediction, a curse, hex, cross condition, jinx, or blockage, or anything along those lines, I do actually now have that available for you on my website, integrativemysticism.com. And so you might want to go and check that out. It doesn't cost an arm and a leg. It's only going to cost as much as it would cost to get a 1-hour astrology or tarot reading with me. And if you go to my website, you will see the product page is already right there. And so check it out. And if that's something that you're interested in, love to hear from you. More of an official announcement coming soon, but I figured since we're talking about jinxes in this video and we just got done talking about curses and hexes, we might as well talk about that too. So if curses, hexes, and cross conditions and negative energy buildups are all about destruction, decay, decomposition, and ruin, what is a jinx about? How can it still be adverse but not employ any of that energy or have any of those kinds of effects? Sometimes it can, but for the most part, it doesn't. Jinxes are not about imparting negative energy in that way. Jinxes are about hijacking an aspect or a field of somebody's spirit or somebody's energy and making it function in a way that is unnatural to itself, or function in a way that is being scripted or commanded or compelled or orchestrated by the person projecting that jinx or projecting that force. So the way a jinx works is that it's almost like computer hacking. It's almost like somebody is imposing protocols and manipulations and compellances through their own intentions, through their own energies and commands, forcing another person or their energies to operate in a different way. Typically with that, you will find that, yeah, this person's, a layer of their spirit or their energy bodies has been completely warped or, tampered with in some way. So an example of how a lot of people will jinx each other knowingly and unknowingly all the time is just what I call scripting. If a person is really intense and energized and focused on what they are trying to make another person maybe experience as a sensation, say, think, or even do, and then they project that, all of their hopes and their intentions or desires or what they want that other person to basically go through almost like a puppet, they can not only throw that person's energy field out of whack, but they can also put up a situation where that person is kind of not only very uncomfortable, but it's almost like their energy fields are fighting against each other. Now, what ends up happening in that situation as well, though, is that the person who has been jinxed might also find that certain things are manifesting and functioning in their life in a way that's in accordance with not only not what they want, but is more out of their control. So let's say Bill was cursed or hexed, maybe as it relates to his business. And so after that goes to work, Bill starts to notice that his business is going into a state of decline. Things are falling apart. Employees are quitting, colleagues are leaving, clients are disappearing, and everything seems to be going into a process of decay and decomposition. However, let's say Bill was jinxed instead. That jinx might go, all right, Bill, well, you're only going to attract clients and customers who take advantage of you. You're only going to have colleagues who stab you in the back. You're only going to have success when you conduct your operations in this way, and you are only going to be able to get the attention of the people that this script says will be acceptable in your life. That is how a jinx works. And there could even be more on top of that, in love binding work especially. And yes, for those of you who probably are going to hate me for saying this, there are some love spells out there that are jinxes. They fall into the family of jinxes. Jinxes can mess with your priorities. They can mess with your guidance system. In fact, a lot of jinxes can also interfere with your intuition, with your own psychic ability, your ability to communicate with your own guides, your own deities, your own divine teams. Because especially in the case of mental dominations and in the case of mind control, those voices are kind of getting drowned out. It's like trying to contact somebody on the phone on a three-way call that you didn't consent to, and that third person on the call is drowning out the conversation that's happening. And that can also show up in situations where a person's energy field is kind of getting messed with to the point where they are, sometimes they will be afraid of things that the person who jinxed them wants them to be afraid of. And they will maybe not necessarily feel comfortable, but they will just feel, let's just say, safe in situations where the jinxer wants them to feel safe. So again, there's a lot of discombobulation going on in the headspace, in the mental space. Sometimes people can jinx on accident. You get this a lot with people who have their energy fields expanded out way too far, and they're not really paying attention to what they are emitting. They're not paying attention to what they are brooding or what they are projecting. And so people who are sharing that space with them are picking up on their thoughts and their feelings, their emotions. And so what they are projecting, what they are scripting is getting kind of caught up in a person's energy field, and it's starting to flow and jump in ways that are, again, out of whack with what is good for them. But that's how jinxes can kind of warp things. And, when you're going in and you are clearing and lifting and removing a jinx, what you're actually doing is basically clearing and defragmenting and resetting a person's spirit, a person's energy fields to flow in their natural way versus the way that they have been jumbled, the way they've been confused or muddled or twisted or distorted. A lot of drama and a lot of baggage comes with them as well. A lot of people who cast jinxes often find themselves bound up with the person that they jinx, regardless of what kind of jinx they cast. And that drama will often come up in situations where the person who is jinxed, right, the victim of the jinx, again, because they can never be completely controlled, they can never be completely dominated in that way, they can never be completely hijacked, is always going to have interference showing up in their life through their guides, through their divine teams, through their deities. We'll talk more about that, though, in another video. It's time to talk about confronting these things and things you might want to consider when confronting them. So, like I said before, clearing negativity, and cleansing negativity is not going to get rid of a jinx or mental domination, mind control, or any kind of binding jinx or love spell jinx or anything along those lines, because there is no negative energy death force to clear. So forget about the sage, forget about the rosemary. You're going to want to be focusing on correspondences for things that cut cords and cut attachments, but also things that focus on truth, on clarity, and even psychic and divinatory enhancement. These are the things that are used with lifting and purging a jinx, and then you can also then add in maybe something for banishing or breaking. So what I like to work with in this kind of situation, you guys know there are certain things that I love that I just swear by when it comes to, herbs and plants and whatnot. Lemon, lemongrass, lemon balm, right at the top here, because those are all cord cutters. Those are all attachment eliminators. So that's first and foremost. That's a great way to already start diminishing and releasing yourself from not only attachment to the jinx, but attachment to the person who cast the jinx. After that, you want to step into, again, what is going to be erasing the protocol or erasing the compellence, erasing the intentions of the other person, erasing the programming, so to speak. Again, beginning that sort of resetting it all. Rue. Rue is a fantastic herb for this, or you could also go with some kind of something that corresponds to complete erasure or endings. So mullein, graveyard dirt. If you don't know how to gather graveyard dirt properly, just go with the mullein. Mullein is relatively easy to find, and it's an herb that pairs very nicely with rue and with lemongrass, all three of those together. And if you want to bring in clarity, bring in truth, clear up mysteries, then you want to bring in things that are going to dispel illusions and reveal truths. So this is where you have things that are, again, psychically enhancing, like star anise, or maybe you want to work with mugwort. Those are really good for this. Thyme, The herb thyme is used in a lot of truth spells. So you combine, say, mugwort and thyme. Great. You've got the clarity as well as the psychic and divinatory enhancement and truth spell all at the same time. Truth spells are the bane of jinxes and love bindings and a lot of bindings in general, right? Because it's all about fixing what's not supposed to be there, what is not natural, what is not in the natural flow of this person's energy field, or even their path or their soul's path in this life. You could also employ any kind of crystal that could absorb or draw out the jinx itself or the energy of the jinx, or even if you're really advanced with this, you can trick the other person. You can trick the jinxer or the person who's attached to you into thinking they're still attached to you, and instead attaching it to, say, a hematite or a petrified wood. Wrap a bit of your hair around it and then fasten it to that stone and then chuck it, and they won't even know that they're not getting to you no more. It's kind of like shadow banning, but with magic. I've done that to a ton of people. There's all kinds of ways to clear this without having to worry about not having the right tool. It's just about having the right technique. So just something to follow up on the last video and give you guys some more to think about, some more to chew on. We'll come back and talk about these things in another video as well. This is all, again, introductory, again, just kind of disambiguation, vocab work, but I like it, and I'm having a lot of fun. If you guys, again, have not seen it, please check out the video on Hexes, cross conditions, negative energy buildups, and curses. And again, if you are interested in hiring me for any services regarding to eliminating these things, whichever kind, the Jinx family or the Curse family ones, I got a service up for you there. Like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I will see you all again soon, and once again, leave comments in the down bar below. Take care.